As great as Ja Morant continues to be for the Memphis Grizzlies on the court, some of his escapades off the court continue to hit the news wire. Yahoo Sports is reporting that Ja Morant was involved in another incident last summer. Apparently, Ja Morant's mother was in the mall at Finish Line, and apparently something happened, some type of altercation happened. She called Ja Morant. Her son pulls up with about 8 or 9 other guys, and apparently the head of security pretty much asked Ja Morant to leave alongside the people that he was with. And according to this report from Yahoo Sports, as the group left, Ja Morant said, "Let me find out what time he gets off." That's him talking with the head of security. Keep in mind, this comes after this season, just about a month or so ago, Ja Morant reportedly, according to some Indiana Pacers staff members, following an on-the-court altercation, apparently Ja Morant pointed like a laser beam. The Pacers say he pointed the strap at him. He pointed a weapon at him. I can't confirm that, but they are claiming that. That's been investigated by the NBA. Nothing really further on that. And then obviously, last summer, Ja Morant also got into an altercation with a 17-year-older who was apparently hooping at Ja's beautiful big house that a lot of people in Memphis know where it's at. And apparently something happened. Ja ended up punching the 17-year-old 12 to 13 times during this, basketball game that they were having at Ja's house. Left a large knot, and apparently Ja once again went and got this strap with a red bead on it and threaded the 17-year-old. And I want to say this real quick. I got to take up for Ja in this regard. These headlines I'm seeing all over the web are saying Ja beat up a teen. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Let me tell you something. There is nothing teen about a 17-year-old. A 17-year-old is capable of doing and is doing anything that any grown man is doing. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, these 16 and 17-year-olds are more dangerous than a lot of the 25, 28. Them the ones you don't want to be around because they the ones that'll do it to you. So I get we're having this conversation, and we are going to be, very critical, hopefully fairly, to Ja Morant. But trying to sell it as Ja did something to a 17-year-old teen, I'm not rolling. Again, go do your homework on Memphis and see some of the things going on. Ain't nothing teen about a 17-year-old. I just want to be fair to Ja in that regard. What I was told, because I did hear about this story before it hit the news wires. I think I knew about this last September. One of my partners told me about Ja Morant, and he told me straight up and down, Ja had gotten into an altercation at his house. He got into a fight at his house. And I'm only saying this now because I don't even put stuff out there in the atmosphere. The entire story has been reported on. Ja Morant has had to speak with the police about the incident at his house last summer and about the mall incident with this head of security in regards to his mama, who apparently had a situation going on in Finish Line. Ja's had to talk to the police about both of these scenarios. So I can now, in good faith, tell y'all, yes, Ja had an incident happen at his house. He claims the 17-year-old was going kind of off the grid, and that's why he, put hands on the young man. The young man apparently said, "I'm going to come back and shoot the place up." Real quick, I do want to say this about Ja. He does represent a lot, because I do a little bit of mentoring behind the scenes. It's very difficult oftentimes to try to be a voice for some of the young bulls out there, because a lot of them are chasing something that they didn't come up in. I don't think Ja Morant's family's sitting on millions before he got to the NBA. That's not what I'm saying here. But a lot of the young bulls in Memphis, they are chasing street fame. I got to call it how it is. And Ja Morant, unfortunately, even though he's the face of the Memphis Grizzlies, actually one of the faces of the NBA, he is no different. So when you see incidents like this happen and transpire, I'm not shocked and I'm not surprised. Memphis got a fantastic point guard on the court. This is going to be one it's going to take a lot of figuring out. Everybody's going to have to figure this one out. Ja Morant's going to have to grow up. His family's going to have to grow up. You cannot call your son, who's pretty much a $500 million entity between the Grizzlies and Nike already, right? You can't call your son to handle your issues. You got to have security and people that figure that out, not named Ja Morant. You know, there's going to be a lot of figuring out. The Grizzlies are going to have to figure this one out, how to handle this point guard. This is something new to Memphis. This is not going to be a tame point guard like a Mike Conley who don't want any type of notoriety outside of the basketball court. Ja ain't Mike Conley. And the other thing that Ja Morant is not is Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph come from that for real. There are certain things and certain ways that he can handle himself that come natural to him, which gets me to my last point. A lot of the young Bulls that we see today, they do things and they always show their hand to somebody like me. I'm from the hood. I'm not in the streets. I never been in the streets, by the way. I don't care about putting that out there. I like young Bulls hearing it from me. All right, everybody know this about me. This not news to anybody. I've been saying this my whole life. I have no interest in being in the streets. I've seen too many stories. I got too much of it around me. I'm good. I'm good money. The people who come from them type of environment, we can always see what don't look real. And the thought process of a guy trying to chase that, but hosting a basketball game at his crib with somebody capable, apparently, of going off the deep end and making some threats inside your house, it doesn't make sense to us. It's inconsistent with a guy chasing street fame. They always play their hand to show that they really not from that. That's what bothers me with young Ja. He's a phenomenal talent on the court. I think the kid is going to do something special in Memphis and at least make one finals, if not win the darn thing one of these years. They might go for it this year, to be honest with you. The Memphis Grizzlies are legit because Ja Morant is legit, period. You can go back and forth about other reasons. Look, I like Desmond Bane a lot. They got it right with Desmond Bane, one of my favorite players in the league. It doesn't even matter what he's doing if Ja Morant's not there. Ja Morant is a sensational talent, but he is going to have to grow up really quickly because a lot is being thrown at him right now. And every time he does something, it's going to get literally magnified by everybody around because he's Ja Morant. He's not a 17-year-old or a young man anymore. He's unfortunately a 23-year-old face of the Memphis Grizzlies, of the NBA. And in about 3 or 4 months, he'll be one of the faces of Nike. That is a lot being thrown his way. We've seen some athletes do well, flourish with those type of expectations. Some that come to mind of the last 20 years, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, all guys that feel comfortable in their own skin. Them dudes promote marriages. Them dudes promote families. Them dudes promote basketball. Ja Morant's going to have to watch this to make sure this thing doesn't go the other way. I'm not even going to name some other athletes that I could name that we've seen crumble and fumble bags. But this is one that's going to be new to everybody. That's my takeaway. Everybody's going to have to adjust to Ja Morant. He is not just going to sit in the backseat. Number one, his game is flashy. This is not Mike Conley. Ja Morant's game is flashy. So naturally, he's going to be flashy. He already told you what he listened to warming up. He listened to a lot of young boy. So that's an influence on him. He's friends with Baby and Bag. Like, you already know where we going with this. Like, he's of the culture. He's not going to back down from the culture that's inside of him. Everybody's going to have to really bottle down and realize what's at stake here. And it's not just Ja. Everybody around him. Mama can't call Ja Morant. I know it's instinct. By the way, if something happened with my mama, guess who she calling? She calling her boy to come figure it out. Right? She calling me if I'm around. At the same time, I'm not a $200 million entity. I know that ain't fair to Ja. But making $40, $50 million a year, which is what he's about to do in about a year's time, that's not normal. So he's going to have to adjust on the fly. His family's going to have to adjust on the fly. The people that they keep around them, they're going to have to change that. The guys around them, around Ja, they're going to have to understand what's at stake here. And if they want to keep the beautiful things that Ja Morant's hard work and labor have given them, Dad's going to have to help out a little bit with this. This is going to be a team effort because I know where stories like this go. There are a lot of people in Memphis that I'm talking to right now, phones chirping off the literally off the hook, like they used to say in the back of the day. There are a lot of people that's telling me, yo, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. So what? That's a typical day. It's just something. This is 1,000%. If you don't think it's nothing, you're enabling him. And by the way, Memphis, the city, the fans of Memphis are in an awkward spot. What they gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna complain about Ja? As great as that young man is on the court, you never had one of them. What you gonna complain about Ja? They can't do nothing. They gotta let him rock. He gets a pass. Can't do nothing with that. You gotta give him a pass. To be honest with you, they don't have a choice. They gotta give him a pass because he's so damn good. He's changing. He's bringing money into the city. You can't do nothing about it but let him rock. Nobody can hold him accountable from the fans. That's why I said everybody's got to just adjust and figure out how to make this work because there's just too much money at stake in the brand of Ja Morant.